Hello and welcome to my video. So today I will be redesigning Taylaron, who, if you're new here, is my character from, originally from my comic Israphaellia's journey. Now he's in a few more things and I'll get to that later. And I started this comic when I was about 14 and Taylaron was about 15 here. And here I will be redesigning him for my sequel, in which he's a bit older. He's about 21. And so I'll be thinking about how his character could have progressed. So maybe how his style could have changed, preferences could have changed, that sort of thing. So one thing that I kind of had trouble with on this character redesign is that Taylaron is a half vampire. So I really had a temptation to make him a bit like goth, like maybe like a little emo style or goth style, something like that. But then I was thinking that just because you're a vampire doesn't mean that you will be a goth necessarily. And also from, this previous character design, there's not really that much indication that Taylaron prefers kind of black or dark colors. So I decided that I should probably kind of think about that a bit more. Though it's a little bit complicated because in my comic, there's a few different countries. And the country from which Taylaron comes from is called Doran. And in that country, it is more common for them to wear kind of more gothic, darkest colors. It's just kind of like that culture. But it doesn't really mean necessarily that everyone has to dress like that, right? Like maybe there'll be some influences from the culture, but it doesn't mean that you have to dress exactly like everyone else or like the most popular style in some specific country, right? So I thought that maybe I'd stick to more natural colors, some greens, browns, that sort of thing. So I did give Taylaron some black jeans because I just thought that would look kind of good. But otherwise, the shirt, one of the shirts that I gave him is kind of just like a light greenish color, since I thought that was a bit similar to what he wore before, but not exactly the same, because I'm kind of thinking that before, it's not that his favorite colors were just earthy. I think he just didn't really care that much. He was more focused on comfort rather than style back then, and it becomes pretty obvious why if you know his story and everything. But I thought that now maybe now that he's going to university, he's a bit older, maybe he could be a little bit more focused on what kind of clothes he might prefer, that sort of thing. So I gave him like a greenish shirt, but I tried to make it a little bit fancy with like there's some like tiny little ruffles on the end of the sleeves. I'm not sure if that will be like that obvious in the video, but there's some little bit of ruffles. Another thing that I was thinking about is what kind of hairstyle Taylaron could have. You could see that his hair's kind of like pretty short originally, like not like extremely short, but pretty short. And I thought that maybe once he's in university, his hair could have been grown out a little bit compared to how it was before. So it's still not very long, because I don't think it's realistic that in just a few years you could have like ankle-length hair. Probably there would have been enough time to grow it a bit longer, but maybe he made the decision to grow it out a bit only like 2 years before we meet him again. So something like that. And there's actually another consideration that I had due to him being half vampire, which is some considerations regarding the sun. So with the vampires in the world that Taylaron lives in, they don't like burn up completely when they go into the sun, but they don't like sparkle either. So it's kind of an effect in between where they will not be fully killed by going out in the sun, but it's more like a very severe sunburn. The vampires in my world, the reason that they have these symptoms is just because being a vampire is a bit like a virus, I guess, that affects the skin pigment. And then if all of your skin pigment is gone, obviously you'll get sunburnt way more easily, since that's what protects people from the sun, right? That's also why they have red eyes. So it affects the pigment in the skin and eyes, but not in the hair, so they can have any hair color. Due to this effect, if he's going out during the day, he would want to be pretty covered up. So that's why the shirt that I gave him is pretty long-sleeved. But also at the same time, once he's going to university, So he's going to a university for dark magic. So that's a university that would be quite popular with vampires. So due to that, I think that they would have a lot of night classes. So then the vampires don't have to be like out and about during the day. He would still have some clothing that can reveal like a bit of arm skin or whatever. Because see, if he's going to class during the night, it's fine. Like he's not going to get sunburned. So I gave him some shorts and a t-shirt as well, which he can wear like during evenings or during night classes, that sort of thing. And yeah, I didn't want to make the clothes too kind of attention grabbing because I think Taylaron is kind of like a quite reserved character. So he wouldn't really want to show off too much or anything like that. So although he has like the little ruffles on the sleeves, they're pretty subtle. So that's another thing that I was thinking about. And also I want to mention the necklace. So with the bat necklace, in the prologue of my comic, Taylaron gives Israphaellia, which is just the main character of the comic, a necklace, and he has a matching one. Yeah, so that's what the necklace is for. And with some of the other clothes, like the scarf and the jumper that he had previously in the previous comic, I thought that usually jumpers, they're pretty baggy, so it would probably still fit. Scarves, they're not size dependent, so it can still fit, so he'll still have it. Since I don't think in this world, I think I've mentioned it in my previous redesign videos, but I don't think in this world they would really be changing out clothes as much as we do in the modern world. So the clothes that he had when he was 14, if they're still good, he's gonna still wear them. So yeah. The jumper and the scarf I kept. But I thought that since 14, a lot of the time I think pants are kind of the area where you'd have a bit more trouble getting a good fit, at least from my experience. So I thought that the pants might not fit anymore because he's probably grown since he was 14. So as I mentioned, this character appears in both of my comics, and if you're interested in that, so I have the old comic, right, which I drew quite a while ago, and also have my new one, which I'm in the process of creating and uploading. So if you're interested in either, you can check them out. It's a fantasy comic, and you can have a look at the sequel without having read the first comic. So yeah, you can just choose whichever one you want to read. I think it is probably good to read the first one just to get to know the characters, but otherwise, plot-wise, I think it's fine without having read it. But if you're interested in Taylaron specifically as a character, I'd actually probably recommend listening to my audiobook, because for that, Taylaron is the main character. The audiobook follows Taylaron when he's 15. That's also when he meets Arya, my other character. Yeah, it's just kind of like a fantasy novel, which I think it's more relaxing in atmosphere. I add some forest sounds, that sort of stuff as well. It follows Taylaron and Arya. And Arya also has a sister who has like some magical disease of some sort. So both of them kind of try to figure that out. And they also, in the meantime, do some foraging, like foraging some medicines, that sort of stuff. And yeah, so that's just the start of it. If you're interested in checking it out, it's on my channel, so you can have a look at it. And I also have redesign videos for both Israphaellia and Xelia. So if you like this video, maybe you would like those as well. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you can like it, so I know that you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more videos like that, you can also subscribe. I think that is all for now, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!